donkeys out to pasture. I like the picture. There are two types of ripples. There are the ripple starters and there are the ripple spreaders, right? The starter is the drop in the bucket. It's taking the rock and dropping it into the pond. You have started ripples. The ripple spreaders are the things that make those ripples go out, right? So when we talk about being a positive, welcoming, nice environment, it's how do we limit the number of ripples that we actually start, knowing we can't eliminate them, and how do we reduce the spread of those ripples when they do start? How do we make them as short as possible, as not felt as possible, so that we can all get back to the positivity? There are 5 types of ripple starters. The systematic ripple, right? This is the next street ripple. This is the next street the organization has either created an inefficient process and it negatively affects your life or the lives of others. There is no process at all. It's something that you deal with and we haven't created the correct process for it. Or there's a process but it's got these little flaws that haven't quite been optimized. There's the you make us all look dumb ripple, right? There's a person on my team that keeps messing this thing up and it makes all of us look stupid. The taking advantage of another ripple, the kind of going around the process, trying to challenge bureaucracy, me before others ripple. The intentionally irresponsible ripple, which is an easy one, and my personal favorite, the grenade lobber. The person that's just lobbing criticisms without regard for why, no real desired outcome other than to just go, ah, here's my hit, ah, right? That's the grenade lobber. So, some examples. Meet Christina. Christina is a driving instructor. She is teaching a 1-day, 8-hour course in Hampton. While teaching that course, she has 2 walk-in enrollments. She successfully enrolls them and gives an outstanding 8-hour course. Everybody leaves clapping. They give her all 10s, promoters. This is John. John's a licensing guy. It's now 4 days later. These are the 2 walk-in enrollments. They are yelling at John because when they walked in, Christina didn't tell them that there's a 10-day wait period for a completion certificate. Now they're testing tomorrow, and they need their cert, and they are yelling at John, and John's sad. And John's getting pissed at Christina because she has caused this problem in his mind. But in actuality, it's a system ripple. It's the next street's fault. It's the organization's fault because we haven't provided Christina with the tools that she needs to successfully take a walk-in enrollment and provide them with the same information that they would get had they enrolled online or over the phone with our outstanding customer service team, right? It is not Christina's fault. It's not John's fault. The system messed up. The system caused the ripple. The you make us all look dumb ripple. Meet Joe. Joe is a newish licensing guy. Say he's worked here, doesn't matter, 6 months, 7 months, some amount of time. Joe often fills out certificates. He loves filling out certificates for instructors to sign. It's his favorite thing to do. Shelly has been here a long time. She's a little weathered. She's seen some stuff. She notices that whenever Joe fills out his certs, he does them wrong. And she has to deal with the repercussions. She gets the phone calls from the customers going, my cert was all wrong. Right? She notices them in the mail and checks them and has to redo them because they're always done wrong. She has the next street's best interest in mind and is upset because Joe is making her, the team, the organization look bad. So she gets mad at Joe. Joe messing it up causes the ripple and it ripples out because everybody's going, God, why don't they deal with Joe? This is Terry. Okay. Terry's nice. Terry's a driving instructor. Meet Terry. Terry just got a new girlfriend. Her name is unimportant. That's his girlfriend. I want you to meet Steve. Steve and Terry are friends. Steve is a scheduling specialist. Steve and Terry are buddies. Steve really likes Terry's new girlfriend. Terry's girlfriend calls and says, Terry, I'm really loving spending time with you. Let's make Tuesday night date night, effective immediately. Right? And Terry says, no problem. I'll take care of it. I want to watch Netflix with you. I'm going to call and let work know I can't be there, effective this Tuesday. Okay? Now, Steve and Terry are friends. Terry takes out his phone, he opens up Facebook Messenger, and he sends a Facebook message to Steve. He says, Steve, take care of this. I need my Tuesdays off, and I need it done now. Steve kind of goes, well, that's not the, did you talk to him? Like, okay? And Terry goes, no, just take care of it for me, would you? That's the me before you ripple. That's the I have a problem, and I'm going to offload this problem onto you. You deal with it so I get my desired outcome, and I don't care how it affects everyone else. It's the selfish ripple, right? It's the I have this need, and even if it negatively affects the lives of others, I'm going to get to that need. You could also call it the Donald Trump ripple. Doesn't matter your politics, I think we can all agree that it's me before you. This is a don't give a shit or poop emoji ripple. This is Ann. Ann is a driving instructor. Ann has a 9 a.m. class on Saturday. It's Friday. Ann's going out. Ann's had a week. She is going to get rid of it. She's going to have dinner. She's going to have cocktails. She loves Friday night. Now it's Saturday. It's 9 a.m. She's supposed to be in class, but Ann's still in bed, right? She's making her way there, okay? This is our call center at 9:30, fielding all the phone calls from the people standing outside the classroom that Ann is supposed to be teaching in, getting crushed by pissed customers, and rightfully so, right? Here's Ann stumbling into class at 10 o'clock, coming up with a lie to make herself not look bad. Sorry, real instructor called out, let's do class. This is just, that's a donkey, right? There's no, these people, this is kind of an easy one to deal with because somebody has clearly done something intentionally wrong. She knows it, the organization knows it, but that's the ripple starter, right? That's the rock in the pond that then sends everything else out. The grenade lobber, okay. There are, I went back and forth on how to illustrate this because there are a number of ways to do it. I think the most effective and anonymous way to have done it is I took tiny pulse responses. These are real, anonymous, tiny pulse responses. Grenade lob. Was there a recent team discussion or meeting where you did not get to share your thoughts? Share them now. Let's talk about tiny pulse. Tiny pulse is something that I put in place a few years ago because I felt like I was losing touch with the organization. There were people I didn't really know. We scaled a bunch, and I wanted to make sure that we could continue to get feedback on how we were doing as an employer, right? So the sole purpose of Tiny Pulse is for you to be able to give feedback to us, positive or negative, on how we are doing as an employer. It's meant to start dialogue. It's meant for you to say, here's something you may not have known about, and us to go, oh, you're right, and fix it. And for the most part, it's used for that. But to get back to my 10 nice people and one really big donkey, what I will often do is read 10 outstanding Tiny Pulse responses. How happy are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 10, you guys are awesome. 9, I love working here. 10, my girlfriend can't believe that I love coming to work. And the one that I read is, sharing is one thing. On the other hand, anyone expecting feedback or action from sharing at those meetings is delusional. Feedback is filtered and made nice by fearful messengers before Watertown sees it. That's just taking a pin out of a grenade and lobbing it, right? This doesn't start discussion, this doesn't start debate, this hasn't presented a solution. This is just hurling grenades for the sake of being negative and hurling grenades. Does no good for anyone. Hey, next streeters, expanding on Brandon's call to remove blinders, take a look around your workspace. What do you need to improve your workspace? What will make you happier and more efficient? Have a great rest of your week. We write the question, the question is actually written to say, how can we help you be happier at work? What tools do you need that you don't have to be happier at work? Maybe seeing a manager from time to time, an occasional kind word. You guys are great at criticizing, but this child Tiny Pulse cheers thing is a cheap excuse for motivation. What do I do with that? Like what? I can't. There's nothing that I can do with that response that will result in a positive outcome. Take pin out of grenade and lob it, right? So when we talk about the removing the internal donkey, you can say these things and still be nice about it. If you feel this way, there are still ways to be nice about it. This is the most aggressive. Good morning, X-Streeters. This question is brought to you by our Director of Finance, Vincent. What are the 10 most important programs of a great benefit package? Please list them in order. This is us saying we want to give you benefits. Before we do that, we want to know what benefits are important to you. This is us saying we're going to take money from the organization and we are going to invest it into you in benefits packages. It's a long response. I might even take a sip of water. I don't want that. It's emotional, and I take this one personally.